game, giving them a 1-0 lead, and it was Reed again that doubled their advantage with a beautiful header later in the first half, and that's how it would end. 2-0 to the Tigers. And for the third time in the program history, they hoisted that trophy. Tonight, they will take on a team that's done it 8 times in their history. Welcome to historic Riggs Field. It doesn't get any better than this to kick off the campaign for these two teams. The #1 team in the nation, reigning champs, the Clemson Tigers, taking on Indiana, who's won this title from the nation 8 times in their 50 years. 2 blue blood programs, a colossal matchup. Doesn't matter that it's 95 degrees out there. The fans are out in full force. And Devin Kerr and Dallin Cuff are here in the presence of those fans. So excited to be here. So much fun. This is how college soccer should start. These 2 huge programs doing it big on national TV.
Blue blood programs. Everybody wants to come here and watch. Everybody wants to play here if you're a kid coming out of high school. 11 national titles shared between the 2. But when I look at the game, we always talk about why you want to watch this game, right, Dallin? Let me tell you, this game right here will have implications tonight and beyond, all the way to the committee in November. This is one you don't want to look back on and go, what if?
No doubt about it. And this Indiana team, they were in the national championship 2 seasons ago, and they bring back a lot of firepower from a team that went to the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament last year.
I specifically want to talk about 3 players, though, and it's guys that are ranked in the top 50 now by Top Drawer Soccer. Guys you want to keep an eye on. Daniel Mooney on the back line, center back next to Joey Mayer. He's your Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. He's got to take another step, though. Possessionally, he's gotten better. The transfer, Carson Henderlong coming over from Xavier, can he be the guy in the 9th spot to help get the job done? Indiana haven't really had that for a couple of seasons. And then another one from that 2020 team that went to the College Cup, Herb Endeley, and the outside midfielder position. These 3 players are guys that you look to and say, in moments of need and kindness, can you help get us to the next level?
Well, to get to the next level, Clemson's going to rely on Hamidi Diop, one of their all-league players that is back from this team that did lose a lot of talent from that national championship squad.
You lose your goalkeeper, you lose your left back, your right center back, and your right back. 4 out of the 5 on the quote-unquote backline and defensive unit are gone. All ACC second team, throw it out the window. The guy leads. It's dead ball situations. He's great in the air, but it's his distributional capability off that left foot of his. How good can he be when he is the only returning member on the backline? It's a big ask, especially against Indiana in the first game.
All those questions will be answered shortly. Indiana, Clemson, the crowd is filing in. We are ready to go. When we come back, we will have lineups and kickoff, and the 2022 season gets open in a big, big way. Welcome back to a packed historic Riggs Field. Clemson and Indiana, 1 versus 13 matchup about to kick off. Alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Dallin Cuff. And it's ready to start in earnest here. We will get you the lineup shortly. The guys have been on the pitch for about 5 minutes. They're eager to go, and here we are. The 2022 season is underway. Mohamed Say taken down a little bit. No call by our official in the middle, David Erbacher. Hamidi Diop stepping into midfield from his center back position. Gets it off to Alvaro Gomez. And Diop went down. There's an early yellow. Whoa. Now, and you see Ben Yateley, that is the coach's son, Todd Yateley's son, the redshirt senior, getting a yellow less than a minute into the match.
Welcome to 2022. Woo. The argument I always make to you, Down, is if you're going to call it in the 90th minute, you're going to have to call it in the 9th minute. This is studs up. It's a dangerous challenge for sure. Everybody's going to look around and go, it's so early in the game, still negligent.
And this is one of the points of emphasis this year, controlling overly aggressive and rough play. And referees should be focused on student-athlete safety and the objective of consistently punishing 100% of reckless tackles. That was one right there. So Yateley's in the book. Less than a minute in. Joey Skinner, the transfer from UNC Greensboro, dispossessed. And a quick lineup for Indiana. As we mentioned, they're in a 4-4-2 here. Joey Mayer and Daniel Mooney, the 2 center backs, have been stalwarts in this program. And Samuel Sarver will lead the line. Carson Henderlong, a transfer from Xavier, up top with him. Lawson Redmond riding the challenge from Gomez. Elton Chifumba on the ball, head up, finds Usman Sila. He's dispossessed by Herbert Endeley. Devin, what are you looking for early in a game with this magnitude, this packed crowd right now. What are you looking for here?
How calm can you be? Because it doesn't matter if you're the #1 ranked team and you're the reigning national champion, or if you're the program that everybody wants to go to coming up as a young man, as a kid. Even the grandfathers still talk about it in Indiana. You got 6 changes both within your lineup. That's 12 new players who are stepping onto the field. Don't care if you're a transfer, if you're a redshirt player. This is a new environment. So how quickly can you become acclimated to your environment, get calm, and stick to what you're best at? Put one foot in front of the other, start pinging the ball around.
How important is it for Clemson particularly to keep possession early, given the fact that you mentioned new guys? 4 of their back 5, if you will, are all new to starting roles. And the guys they lost, whether it's George Marks, Oscar Ogren, Justin Malou, are pros and we're all ACC players.
It's massive. I actually feel that it's probably more so for Clemson, though, because of your point of not who you lost, but where you lost them, losing them on the back line.
Van Erkens covers over here. Go ahead, sorry.
The inability to control the tempo of the game, which was the bread and butter of the Tigers last season. They were so good, starting with George Marks in goal, finding Oscar Ogren, Justin Malou on the right-hand side pivot. They don't have that anymore. So you've got to have that calming presence. And certainly, although the sample size is very small, just a couple of minutes in, this thing's all over the place.
Clemson getting it reversed over to Enrique Montana, the right back coming forward, looking for Sela, who started on the left wing, but he'll pop up everywhere as we quick restart. Derek Wallop, the transfer from Brown, all Ivy League player, trying to hold off the challenge he can. Mohamed Say picks up the foul. Here's a quick look at the 4-3-3 that Mike Noonan's rolling out.
He talked about the hold-up play of Mohamed Say, but Usman Sela on that right-hand side. He'll be on the left-hand side. He'll bounce all over, really given a license to roam. But underneath, Alvaro Gomez playing a higher role this year. He was the lone number 6. They'll flatten out the midfield at times as well, and they'll return to a double pivot when necessary. Again, new starters on the back line, new goalkeeper, but different roles for a lot of these players that won the Cup last season.
Trevor Mannion, that new goalkeeper, taking over for George Marks, who was a three-time All-ACC level performer, one of the 6 players drafted in the MLS Super Draft from this Clemson team last year. He went to Charlotte FC, picked 57th overall back in January.
Only 6, huh?
It's ridiculous. The most by any team in the country last year. But Indiana knows a lot about putting a bunch of dudes in the pros, too. These 2 programs, again, 8 national titles for Indiana. But here and now could be an opportunity. Sela looking for Isaiah Reed. There's a lot of contact. Nothing called. Sela still 1v1 with Redmond. Lays it off to Reed. And the flag went up, though, before JT Harms came off his line, the transfer from Duke, and made a stop. You talk about new guys. Roman Celentano, stalwart, 2-time Big Ten goalkeeper of the year, and All-American, no longer a net for them.
Don't sleep on JT Harms, though, the goalkeeper coming the other direction. Watch how quickly he comes off his line. This is a U.S. Youth National Team prospect. Only a couple appearances over the past 2 years. Understand this for Indiana. Since 2016, we've only heard 2 names. It's Trey Muse, professional, Roman Celentano, professional. High-level draft picks moving into MLS that are getting their shot. Most of these guys that are there right now under Yeagley have had to sit back and figure out when their time was going to be. That's an excellent start for JT Harms.
Yeah, it's got to give him confidence. This matter is offsides. He didn't know that. Oh, my gosh. An opportunity on the turnover by Mannion, and it's a goal! Just like that, Samuel Sarver, the sophomore, picks up where he left off last year, his 8th career goal. And he runs to the Indiana section that's made the trip from Bloomington to hype up the red and white.
We'll make it real simple for you here right now. This is called when playing it out of the back goes wrong. Watch as they start to siphon this the other direction. The first touch is abysmal for Trevor Mannion. We just praised his counterpart, JT Harms, on the other side. It's a terrible touch by the goalkeeper. You got to keep this close to your body. With speed players like Sarver and Henderlong up top, the press is going to be ever present all night long. It's got to be smarter. Instead, terrible mistake to put his team behind early.
Sprinted the length of the field about 80 yards after that goal to celebrate with the Indiana fans. He picks up a foul there, and there's complaints looking for a card, just like Ben Yeagley was quickly carded. Not going to happen, though. And I'll tell you what, the historic Riggs crowd here is a little bit of stunned silence. This is what they were the beneficiaries of this in the national championship game, as we showed you earlier. Isaiah Reed scored on a mistake by Sam Fowler in goal that allowed them to go up 1-0 30 seconds into the match. Here, the shoes on the other foot, with the stakes not quite as high.
No, and the other side of that is coming into this game, talking with Todd Yeagley, head coach of Indiana, he went deep into the judge and letting us know they didn't know how they were going to play.
I know.
He wasn't sure. Were they going to play a 4? Was it going to be a 3? 5 in the middle, flatten it out. They knew that they had found their striker in the transfer of Carson Hendelong coming over from Xavier, but what was everything else going to look like? So instead he says, you know what? We're going to go simple. We'll go 4-4-2. We know that the press and energy up top is going to be there right away. They get a goal because of it.
No doubt about it. Todd Yeagley's an absolute institution. His family is an institution in this game. 2012 National Championship coach, Coach of the Year that year, 4-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, and a 4-time All-American as a player. For his father, Jerry Yeagley, who was a coach here for 30 years. And this is an institution of college men's soccer, as is Clemson, but Indiana's been doing it for 50 years and 50 years strong.
Yeah, think about it. One of the first games that I did for college soccer for ESPN was in 2018. Walked into Indiana, walked into the hallowed grounds that is Bloomington, right? And I've been out of college since 2004. I walked in 18 years later going, wow. I mean, that's how long it had been since I had been there and experienced it, but that's what I mentioned coming in. This is generational of the desire to come and play at a school like Indiana. Now, yes, the mountaintop currently reigns supreme with the Tigers, but what it's been all along for generations has been the Yeagley family.
And now it's not just Jerry and Todd doing it. You mentioned Ben already. Ben picked up that early yellow card. His younger brother Grant is on the team as well. 3 generations of Yeagley's part of this Indiana program, rich tradition, and so many pros and so many great players. And Todd was also one of those great pros, had a great career at Columbus Crew as well, and now helming his alma mater. Nick Sessick, transfer from Pitt, his 2nd year now at Indiana. Excuse me, 3rd year now at Indiana. Yeagley back to Daniel Muni. Muni, Defensive Player of the Year last year in the Big Ten, on the ball, redshirt senior. 2nd and 3rd team All-American by different publications. Poor distribution there. Gomez picks it off, but also a poor pass by Gomez. Herb Enderle gets it to Sarver. Back to Enderle. Nice touch. Austin Redmond's got his head up. Finds Sarver. Pressured by Diop and rides him out. And Mike Noonan on the other side, as we've said, these are 2 blue blood programs, and he's led his team now in his 12th season to a national championship last year, now his 13th campaign. They've won the ACC tournament a couple times. He was also a great player in his own right at Middlebury and then MISL and over in Sweden as well. And has done a fantastic job here at Clemson, a place where they do not lose at home very often. They're 93, 30, and 15 at historic Riggs under his tutelage. Opportunity, Sela head up, looks to spray it to Reed, pass a little behind him, and Montana couldn't get on it. Tommy Mahalik was showing a little bit of wheels, got around Montana and tried to play along. How do you feel about Clemson's response to that goal?
Semi-decent. I mean, it's not great. You know, they're trying to figure out their shape as well, just like Todd Yeagley is. And with Indiana, the difference is Mike Noonan said the same thing. You know, they were going to be full of emotion and pressure up top as well. We really haven't seen that much pressure, and then the inside, it's been difficult to maintain any sort of consistency.
Sarver able to get the ball into the box, but no threat there, no runners. Redmond keeps it in. Gomez dispossesses him, and we have an opportunity. Well read by Sessick, but he's not able to clear. Out to Wolof. He's got Green in front of him. He's got guys in orange jerseys making runs. Sela can't get on that. Muni read it well. Chifamba, careless turnover. Henderlong just walks it out of bounds. There's Sela, second team all ACC player last year. All freshman team the year before that. Isaiah Reed, MVP of the NCAA tournament. Can he show you again why? He had 2 goals in the final, get some space. Saved in the end by Harms. Well managed by Redmond there. Tough spot.
One of the issues you run into is you start to move through all your different looks for Clemson moving forward is with Ousmane Sela. When he comes down in, the extension going forward really becomes a two-pronged attack with Mohamed Say and Isaiah Reed. The good news is Reed in this situation gets himself free. The bad news is it's just kind of one too many touches. We did see that last year where he had space to run into and he would take a touch, but then a second and a third and a fourth. If he wants to continue this progression and make it to the professional level, he's got to be cleaner in his decision making in the final third.
Reed, the Rock Hill, South Carolina native, now looking long to Say. Mohamed Say, a senior from Valencia, Spain, has dealt with so many injuries in his career. There's Sela looking for some space, gets the shot off and into the back of the net. He ties it at 1. The junior from Senegal sends this 3,000 person crowd into bedlam.
The joke coming out of our conversation with Mike Noonan in the lineup was Sela. Yeah, he can go wherever he wants. He'll be on the left, he'll be on the right. He can just show up and he's going to be great. And that's exactly what happens. Look at the turn on the center back. You could applaud the 1v1 defending about 2 minutes prior, but he puts Joey Mayer on a merry-go-round here with his turn. Little cut back to the right side, bottom corner, and we're back to square one.
All knotted up at 1. Just over 13 minutes in. We got the flares going in the crowd. This is beautiful.
It's cooled off a little bit too. It's temp-wise. Out there on the field, it's blazing.
Yeah, for us it's better. We're broadcasting this game with no shoes on. Apparently it keeps your body cold. It stinks in here, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Sesic looking to get them back ahead, doesn't happen. The cross. Sela finds Say. Say's got some room to turn into. Chifumba trying to make the run, but Sesic's going to outleg him to it. Harms just gets it out to touch. They had a ceremony before the game to unveil the 2021 National Championship banner. James Brighton, Charlie Asensio, 2 stalwarts of that team are here. Reed, though, with an opportunity to do that unveiling. Everybody's got shirts, we've got their orange towels, all types of stuff here for the historic Riggs Field crowd. Second highest attendance last year in terms of gross numbers as Ben Urquhart plays it out. There it is. Those guys were, it was a raucous, I should say, ovation for Brighton and Asensio when they unveiled that banner.
Well, the start to this game, not that much different than that game. The difference is they had 2 by now.
And Mannion getting a touch on the ball. What do you want to see from Indiana in their response now? They're on the road. They had that gift goal on a mistake.
They're just up and down right now, which is weird. You know, they're chasing the shape. I've already talked about that, but what's end up happening here for Clemson is as they flatten out the middle, they brought it very thin. So Derek Wallach, Elton Chifama, and Alvaro Gomez, almost 3 flats straight across. So as Sela comes in, they're not sure on the back line who's to step up into the space. That's where that pocket is right now. And the 2 strikers up top doing a great job. Mohamed Say and Isaiah Reed, they spread it wide. And all of a sudden, it's Joey Mayer and Daniel Muni looking around going, guys, you got to pass the runners along the back line. There's not enough communication, and that's why all the space is readily available for the Tigers.
He had that great pocket of space just about 30 seconds ago with a poor touch that you're talking about. If he would have controlled that, he would have been in some room to turn and run at guys. Enrique Montana doing his step-overs, but the pass wasn't quite there.
And remember, with all of these changes within the lineups, what the system could be, Todd Yeagley did also say, which we're still not allowed to play with 2 balls, FYI.
You can't?
Didn't pass the rule, sorry. Is that he feels like, especially on the defensive front, they are the deepest they've ever been, more so at the center back position. So he feels like at a moment's notice, they could go 10, 15 minutes, then change, show a different look, and easily drop into a 3-back and not miss a beat.
And that's what he talked about with us, as you just mentioned. A lot of our call was all about how they worked on their 3-back all through their exhibition matches, where they played DePaul, where they 1-2-1 Bowling Green, and they they beat, and they lost to Louisville too in a real match, a real simulation of 90 minutes where they lost 3-1. Some of those other ones were different setups. But that's what he taught to us, and they come out to 4-back, so we'll see if they adjust.
Well, it gives you an idea of how confident he thought he was, as opposed to coming on the road, first game of the year, #1 ranked team going, let's simplify this for these guys, because this could be a massive ask. Instead of running, let's just walk. Yeah. Let's see what we can do.
Mayer on the ball. Back to Mooney. Yegley turns it over. Say now has an opportunity. Oh, nice move. Big fella's got good feet. Still the big fella. Outside of the boot. Are you kidding me? What a finish. What a run. He's dealt with injuries all his career. He's finally healthy. You can see what he can do.
Friendly reminder that heading into the tournament last year, this guy was untouchable because he was unavailable. He was incredible throughout the entire title run, but he was not available in the starting 11, and look at him fly. The physical presence that he maintains, 6'3", 200 pounds, turns on a dot, speed to burn, and look at the vision for the bottom corner. Chef's kiss outside of the left foot, and this is familiar territory. Atop the mountain, everybody else chasing the Clemson Tigers.
And Say, 17th goal of his career. As we mentioned, last year he played 12 minutes of the national championship game, but on a torn ACL. He's back to full health. He's just gotten full go. He's playing at a high level, obviously. And Mike Noonan said it for years. If he could just be healthy, because he had so many different issues. He started 2 seasons ago. He scored 3 goals in the first 2 games, then was out for about 8 games.
The biggest difference between the two, by the way, because you asked me about the response from Indiana. This is the best way to showcase it to everyone. Everything on the offensive end that you could ask, Sela, Reed, and Mohamed Say. Very busy. Yeah. We haven't seen a thing outside of the opening goal from Sarver or Henderlong. Henderlong, you haven't even mentioned his name.
Yep, it's a great point. And that goal was based on defensive effort, not anything really created. It was a turnover by Trevor Mannion and a great hustle by Samuel Sarver. Not taking anything away from him, but Indiana's had no threat offensively, whereas Clemson already up 2-1 right now. Say tried to flick it on to Reed. Closed down quickly by Mooney. And now Herb Enderle able to run into some space. Wallach, oh, they're late. That's going to be a yellow, I would imagine. Professional foul by the transfer from Brown.
Great extension by Daniel Mooney, who started this. Center back pushing off the back line. You're asking for a committal from someone within the midfield. It comes from Derek Wolf. It just comes late. He recognizes it, but as the slide comes over, he's in a 2v1 situation. Not sure which run to pick up. By the time he gets there, he's already gotten himself into trouble.
Mooney glides past Wolof. Good control by the big fella, but couldn't hit the return pass to Sessick. Here at historic Riggs Field, if you're just tuning in right now, Clemson was down 1-0 in a matter of minutes, and now they're up 2-1 with a chance to maybe make it 3. Enrique Montana in a little bit of trouble. Oh, he may have run out of real estate, and he did. Alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Dallin Cuff here at the defending champions' home. Clemson Tigers winning the national championship last year over a Washington club. This Indiana team has won the championship 8 times. These are 2 blue blood programs. They've treated us to a heck of a first 20 minutes almost here. Big ups to these fans too. It was literally, the feels like was 99. 6 o'clock gates open, 6 o'clock bodies were here. I was up here sweating, being like, I can't believe people are in the stands right now. But they have a lot more fervor. Who are you telling? I know. Somebody can hose me down at halftime.
Still some work to do compared to the Marshall fans of the 20 College Cup that were out there for hours on end. But, you know, they had class, so I got to understand it.
Well, maybe. I don't know if they cared either. The Marshall fans were fully lubricated in the parking lot for about 6 hours. Great turn by Silla. In some space, he's scored already from out there. He pulls the trigger, back, little contact. David Erbacher. He's gonna say simulation here? I think he made the hand motion to him like you dove.
Unless he touches it on the back end of it when he goes to ground. Another great run. One of the scouting reports you'll figure out real quick. All due respect to Usman Silla, he doesn't really have a left foot. So on the cutback here, he's just trying to get it favored on that right-hand side. Great call by the referee. Notice the momentum already going forward for the Clemson Tiger. He's going to ground. There's a little contact from Daniel Muni, but he's already recognized the fact that the player was headed down anyway.
And you saw Ben Yeagley, his ankle kind of got rolled up on there. He got up there a little gingerly. He's on the ball right now defending in white as Gomez pops it out to Skinner. Silla again in that pocket of space you were talking about. Couldn't communicate who wanted the ball there, Skinner or Silla. Erkin's trying to play a through ball to Silla from out the back. Didn't work. Arms turnover in a bad spot, and Yeagley, who's already on a yellow, just called for a standard foul there.
If he hits this.
But to say, how many do you have as the free kick taker? He's dangerous, but this is the equivalent of Steph Curry range. This is Roberto Carlos can't score from here. He goes. Hubris?
I'm thinking of Jacob Glesnes from the Union. Remember that free kick he had from 40 yards out? Stu Holden was on the call screaming what a great strike it was.
Oh, man. Couple subs coming in. These teams have history. Mention how great and rich the history is. This is the Kingdome, baby, the Astrodome, 1984 national championship game, Indiana against Clemson, a melee in the AstroTurf.
Well, let's flip it the other. Oh, I'm here for the shorts first.
The shorts, the legs, the high thighs.
Bring those back, please. 8,000 in attendance. The Tigers taking down the Hoosiers.
Sexual. First championship for the Tigers there. They were the back-to-back national champs at that time was Indiana. They were looking for a three-peat, didn't get it. But look at the domination they've had over their conferences, their conference tournaments, and the nation. 11 national championships between these two programs. Let's get you caught up on the subs coming in for Indiana. Patrick McDonald checked in the game for Ben Yeagley in the midfield, 22 in white. Ryan Wittenbrink came in, for 18 in white for Lawson Redmond, who was playing left back. And you see Malum Gumbale, the last sub just on the ball, plays it back to JT Harms. Gumbale was almost a turnover there by Harms. Gumbale replaced Sarver, the goal scorer for the Hoosiers. Got two great MLS matches coming from the Western Conference tonight over on ESPN. 8 o'clock, the first one. First place LAFC taking on second place Austin FC. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Then One of the best rivalries in American soccer. The Timbers and the Sounders from Providence Park, both on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. You can, of course, catch them on the app.
Here comes that change. It's a very defensive move.
In shape?
Yeah, it just gives you the ability here if you want to. Now, they're not going to out and out be in a 3 straight away, but the idea is that you're going to go with Sessick, Muni, and Joey Mayer, and as you flatten out the back 3, that gives the ability for guys like Patrick McDonald and Wittenbrink to get up and down the side a bit more. But one thing you can remember about Patrick McDonald is that as you bump him up, you can bring him to the inside as well. It's a very common thing you see in the modern game where you see the inverted outside backs getting involved in the run of play. Also, Mahalik coming in just underneath the 2 strikers, trying to clog up some of those balls coming off the back line for Clemson.
Great ball out of the back by Diop. Say can't really control it well. Gumbali on it again. Say's pass too heavy. McDonald might be in a little trouble. Sela can't pick his pocket. He's able to get it out to Wittenbrink. His first touch. Good step by Joey Skinner. Brett Beebe looking for the switch for Wittenbrink. He hits the senior. Mahalik draws some contact, and that'll be a dangerous free kick opportunity for the Hoosiers. Mahalik, the sophomore from Skokie, Illinois, spent time in the Augsburg Academy. Big Ten all-freshman team last year. Draws a foul. Good call here.
It's a good call. It's a smart touch by Mahalik. He knows the pressure's coming from behind him. Any attacker that drops in there, you're taking a chance because of all the bodies behind him. But you got to be smarter as a center back stepping them in. Just keep the player in front of you. That little continuation, especially with the ref right in front of you, is always going to get you in trouble.
And Ben Erkins picks up the foul. The junior, another local product, Greenville, South Carolina kid. And Erkins has some experience. It's only his 8th start, but he did start a huge game in an ACC tournament semifinal when Justin Malou got hurt a couple years ago. See who takes this. McDonald and Wittenbrink are on it. Wittenbrink over it. Just a touch on some of those departures as a couple subs come in. For Clemson, Tim Strobeck's going to join the fray, as is Brandon Parrish. But I mean, Clemson lost a lot. I mean, they won a national championship. That group also won the ACC conference tournament the year before that. And Luis Fernandez Salvador, these guys are last year's stats, and you look at some of the numbers they put up there. But these guys were also starters nonstop. Charlie Asensio was an all-league player. Ogren, first-team all-league player. Justin Malou, all-league player. All these guys drafted as well. James Brighton, injury issues last year, but they were all former all-league players. And George Marks, their captain in the back, was an all-league player 3 different times. So they are replacing a lot as Diop is playing a little bit of fire back here.
And Brighton would have been the starter, right? He would have been in that mix for sure, and just because of injury. Unavailable.
What a touch by Say. Parrish looking for the early ball to Strobeck. Pretty, he's going to get on it. Orange George is in the box. The sophomore tried to go 1v1 versus Mayer. He lost that battle. And that's Strobeck's first touch of the match, really, to come in. The sophomore from Hasselholm, Sweden. Well, Mayer stood tall. Great job.
Good recovery, though. And we can talk about the movement going forward for sure. But remember, Joey Mayer is the one that got turned around by Usman Sela. And then Mohamed Say, the second goal coming in the 16th minute. And it's smart by the young man to just hold him there. Everybody want to talk about Jack Mayer and the draft pick that was. For a long period of time, Joey Mayer coming out of the St. Louis youth program as well. Scott Gallagher, they said he's going to be better. Well, now's your opportunity, right? This is one of those games where as you continue the mythical travel through the Indiana program that you can step up and say, I was better than my brother and I'm going to be a higher draft pick. But it's got to start somewhere, and why not now? Especially with as flat as they've been early on in this game.
And his brother Jack was a former All-American defender. Played and left Indiana 2019, now with the Nashville SC club in MLS. Endeli able to get onto it. Can't turn out of trouble though. Skinner dispossessed. Now Endeli back on it. Can be in danger with the ball at his feet. Sarver goal scorer. He's got an option to Wittenbrink. Wittenbrink cuts back right shot. Mannion, big save. First save of the game for Trevor Mannion, the junior, getting his first career start.
Give the goalkeeper some credit. This is textbook. Across the body, you're pushing it away with that reaching arm. I like the vision here, though, from Ryan Wittenbrink. He recognizes quickly he can't get to the byline. The square ball back across, closed down. He's direct in nature, just cuts inside and has a go.
First corner of the match for the Hoosiers. Taken by Mahalik. Takes it short and Endley can't hold it. Gomez finds Sila, and this could be a transition opportunity. Sila has the option to the right, and he finds Chifamba. Oh, just straight offside. It's a tough one when you're looking down the line.
I don't know about that one.
Thought he was on?
Might have been a little bit of a gift.
I thought he was off blind.
Watch it stop right here. See, I'm looking at the top of the screen, not the near runner. You still got to be smarter. I mean, don't even make it a question mark at that point in time. All that space, all the hard work done.
Donald on it. Indiana looking for a long throw here, and Sessick looking to wind up and get one into the box. Bouncing around and cleared out. Talked a lot about the Indiana shape. It's been about 5 minutes since they made that change. Have you seen anything? Have you liked it? Is it different to you?
I do like it. Yeah, and the reason being is they've been on the ball more. You talked about possession about 5 minutes in. They've become more comfortable, specifically because of Tommy Mahalik, his ability to roam through the middle. And now you're asking questions of the back line because it's not one marker anymore. It was just Sam Sarver before. Henderlong was gone, but as you've rotated through the pieces, now you've gotten Endley much higher. His speed has helped you stretch it, and then that space in between, you've brought Mahalik from the outside down in. He's allowed to step on the ball, and now you can combine and start to stretch Clemson, whether it's through the middle or through the outside.
Endley almost able to bring it down. Might fall to Mahalik with an opportunity. Lays it out to Gumbali. Tries to cut it back. Second corner of the match for the Hoosiers. Mahalik not going short this time, floats it in. Back post, and almost an opportunity for Mooney. Mannion saying he was fouled, the goalie, no call. College football season starts tomorrow, folks. We are here, week 0, in the 17th annual MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff game. Has Howard, led by Larry Scott, squaring off against Alabama State at Center Parc Stadium in Atlanta, formerly Turner Field. Celebration of HBCUs begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN and the app. And a quick sub while we were in break there. Mohamed Say making way. Tyler Trimnell checked in for him. freshman forward, getting his first opportunity. Looking long for Sarver, but Mannion on it. Gomez, one of the captains in Toledo, Spain, plays it back to Amady Diop, Senegalese center back. Both these teams, as successful they've been, a difference in recruiting and how they play. A lot of internationals on the Clemson team. Senegal, Sweden, as was mentioned here right now, Spain represented, whereas Indiana, as they turn it over 75% of the roster is either from St. Louis, Chicago, or the state of Indiana. Another sub coming in for Clemson and for Indiana. On the Clemson side, Tristan DeLoach getting an opportunity here. Savannah, Georgia native. He's coming in for Gomez. And Samuel Sarver, the goal scorer for Indiana, checks out. Into the match comes Nate Ward, a junior from Connellsville, Pennsylvania, just outside of Pittsburgh, place where Devin and I will be on Monday night when Pitt takes on WVU in the top 7 matchup. Pitt coming off an impressive win over over Georgetown last night.
They were fun to watch. I came in giddy as a schoolboy like it was Christmas. Talking about their shape, Jay Vidovich. It's like the teacher, you know, the very few growing up that you liked going to class for.
I remember all their names too, by the way.
Absolutely. You know, Vidovich, you watch him play and the passion that they have, the shape that they deploy, the way that they break teams down. I just sit there in awe every single time I watch them.
You got me over here thinking like Mrs. Coons, Mr. Christoback,
Mrs. Jones, 3rd grade,
Miss Riggins. I mean, we're rolling here. Go through some of that at halftime. You didn't see some of the opening night scores and highlights. We'll rip through some of the highlights and some of the scores from what was an awesome first day in men's college soccer last night. Not to be shown up by today. We got 3 goals in the first 20 minutes of play between 2 of the most successful programs in the history of men's college soccer. Pinged out wide to Gumbale. Sesic. Deflected and out for a 3rd corner. It's Brandon Parrish, junior from Nashville, 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year in that state of Tennessee. And Mike Noonan was really clear. Parrish, one of the guys he thought really developed in the offseason. See him make maybe a bigger imprint on the season this year. Although he got burned in big games. Last year he played in the AC semifinal. Ball in, played in, almost flicked on. Wittenbrink can't really control it. Sesic just back into the mixer. Mannion out, not too confidently, but the flag was up anyway.
Definitely an experience, but I would say that the argument between the 2 teams, talking about, you know, losing 6, Indiana just had so much rotation last year. There were so many players who got to experience everything. You and I joked coming into this game that you really didn't even have to know the guys' numbers on Clemson because you could tell by the way that they ran.
We knew their gait, people. I mean, yeah. it was pretty wild.
Shout out to the kit man, by the way, for changing the numbers and allowing us to see him this year.
Necessary. Strobeck is on this, though, battling with Mooney, and Mooney wins the battle in the end, just barely. Pinged over to Wittenbrink. But even Mike Noonan told us, he said, I asked the question, has it been weird to not have those guys around just beyond the camaraderie? He goes, yeah, even filling out the lineup card's going to be weird. He goes, I knew the numbers, and I would just go right from 30 to 4 to 15, and that's Marks, Malou, Asensio, and you're just kind of rolling through the whole thing. But now it's all different But these guys are kind of obviously tested right away and have emerged pretty well through the first 40 minutes or so.
Interesting how he described the leadership aspect of it, where last year he managed the team because there were so many leaders and so many veterans. He could just manage them, help point them in the right direction. This year, he not only has to manage, he's got to coach. He's got to lead by example, and he's not on the field. It's a little bit different. It's not more difficult. It is harder with some of the youngsters coming in. I felt for him because he said, the veterans are fine. The senior guys come in, they're okay. Some of the youngsters, they're trailing a little bit, but we'll get there. How we look now is going to look very different 10, 15 games into the season.
For sure. 12 freshmen on this roster, 2 transfers coming in, so 14 new faces. And we already went through the 6 guys. 6 of the guys that left last year, 6 were drafted. It's the most by any team, and they lost more key guys that were not necessarily drafted. Perkins heads it down. Indiana lost Victor Brazzero. Obviously, he was a critical player. Mac Herman, finalist 2 seasons ago. Spencer Glass, Ramon Celentano. So not, I mean, it's a pro. That's what makes these programs special. You don't rebuild, you reload. That's how it works.
Just to put a bow on all that, Dallin, the other thing that we didn't address, but we can bring up real quick is much like what you see in every other sport at the collegiate level now. It's taken soccer a little bit longer to get there. It's those 5-star and blue chip athletes. Because you are a program that everybody wants to go to, you also usually have the talent to make that jump to the professional level. So these guys late in the recruiting process are getting those chances.
No doubt about it. And both these programs are putting guys in the pros all over the place, internationally and, of course, in MLS and USL. It's a great ball by Hamady Diop out of the back over there. There aren't many guys that can make that pass across the pitch like that. They have the guts and the talent to do it. Indiana has an opportunity. Switch the play out to Gumbale. Skinner and him singled up. Trying to get in line. He does. Good ball played in. Just there in the nick of time was Diop. Hamady Diop, second team All ACC last year. Born at Dakar, Senegal, come out of Montverde Academy, which Coach Noonan has tight connections to, and an absolute pipeline of great players come out of there, and a lot of them end up here in Clemson, South Carolina. Chifamba, well done. And off Mahalik for a goal kick. Chifamba, the sophomore from Ohio. He's a Crew Academy product. He's had some youth national team call-ups. Logged about 35 minutes of the national championship game last year. Some injuries put him into a tough spot, and he played well and put himself well in that game against Washington. Wittenbrink riding the challenge a bit. Mooney. Long crossfield ball. Doesn't come off. Donald takes the challenge, takes the foul. Sophomore from North Carolina. Veteran of the Indy 11 program, was offered a amateur contract, but eventually end up here to Indiana. It's a familiar stride about to come in for Indiana as well. Luca Brazzero, we mentioned Victor, his brother, is here, but he then pulled back. Opportunity here. Shot, Mangus there! Was there contact? David Erbacher says, get up! And and we going the other way. Strobeck, 1v1 with Mooney. Kind of a 2v2. Sela on it. Oh, Sela gets the headline. Harms is out. It's deflected. It's still loose. Parrish winds up blocked. Well done by Beebe. What a sequence. And Nate Ward may have a gripe for a penalty. When this goes out, we will take a look if we get there. Only 48 seconds left in the half. Flipped over the top. Goombale tries to bring it down. Laser from Mahalik. Oh, he pulled it! What a gilt-edged opportunity for the sophomore. Couldn't hit the target.
We've seen Nate Ward, Sam Sarver, Herbert Endeley, Carson Henderlong. Nobody's been able to get any sort of presence up top here. We did talk about Tommy Mahalik. Good job down underneath, but how's this touch just before? Contact on the backside. It's hard to see from that angle. There's a continuation on the run as Orchids came over to help out Hamady Diop.
As we count down here, fireworks there in the last minute and a half of this first half. It started great for Indiana. They went up 1-0 6 minutes in. This place was stunned silence. But then everybody was rewarded after that because 2 goals in less than 5 minutes by Ousmane Sela, Mohamed Say put the Tigers up 2-1 as we go to break. We're now joined by Mike Noonan, who is here with us. Coach, we've talked about it before. You're just a younger group or a more inexperienced group as you guys move forward in 2022. But you went down 1-0 in 6 minutes. How do you feel about your team's response?
Well, it was a great response, resilient as could be. You know, Trevor made a mistake, but it doesn't make everybody makes mistakes. So I was really proud of the way the guys came back, and you know, we didn't finish the half very well, but that middle part of the half, I was very proud of the team.
Coach, Indiana changed the shape a little bit. Daniel Mooney trying to step off that back line, tweaked it a little bit. They feel more comfortable in possession. How do you now change that and change your pawns to get back into this game and be the ones that were the aggressors in that opening 20 minutes like we saw?
Yeah, well, we were a little more inexperienced when we made the substitutes, and their heads were spinning a little bit. But we'll get it right at halftime and move forward.
Appreciate you, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Clemson, when leading the half, pretty good. 84-5-4. And as we said before, they are really hard to beat in historic Riggs Field. But this Indiana team ain't scared of anybody. They will come out here ready to go in the second 45. Ousmane Sela knotted it up at 1. And Mohamed Say, 6'3", pretty feet, baby. And the outside of the boot finish. 2-1 at the break. We'll be back. Historic Riggs Field in a minute. Balmy and beautiful night here in Clemson, South Carolina. And the hometown fans enjoying a 2-1 right there. Say finishes the big Spaniard. The senior puts them up 2-1. They scored those goals twice in the span of 4 minutes. And now here we go. JT Harms has the ball, the transfer from Duke. Goalie here for Indiana, replacing Roman Salentano, an absolute staple here for the last couple years. Crowd making their presence felt early. Indiana did make a bit of a shape change. They went from 4 in the back to 3 in the back in the last 20 minutes or so of the half, and you like that. Oh, this could be an opportunity here. Almost. Nathan Richmond, a little freshman getting in here, involved. You see Say wrapped up. So Mike Noonan going with some young fellas here, with Richmond, a freshman, getting a little opportunity to get some burn in. 25 in orange. Freshman from Atlanta.
Oh, how's that ball?
Beautiful. Diop, his distribution at the back is outstanding. Potential cutback opportunity here. Shot deflected. Out for a corner. And Derek Wallop, the transfer from Brown, gets the corner, the first of the match for the Tigers. Alvaro Gomez, one of the captains on the team, along with Isaiah Reed, trots over to take the corner. Richmond is there short with him. And not the corner you're going to want. What are you watching for here in the first couple minutes of the second half?
Trying to figure out who started.
Sometimes I love brutal honesty, folks, because they get out there, we're still doing our thing, and we're trying to survey the whole situation here.
Well, it's interesting he's gone with Nathan Richmond up top. And that's some of the, his comments, speaking of brutal honesty, we were a little bit young in the changes coming in. They got it wrong in the first half, right? So it took them a little while to recover from that. You go young here again, but they've still got some of the veterans. So can you get a quick start? Because they didn't do it in the first half. They didn't close well either. Everything else in between was fine for the Clemson Tigers. But for Indiana, I'd like to see them on the ball even more. They started to recover more of the ability to step on it, but it's cleaning up some of those balls right there. Coming off the back line, it has still not been great, especially with Daniel Muni.
Oh, what a touch. And Say storms onto it, but Harm's able to get off his line and gather it. What a touch by Richmond over the head there to almost free Say for an opportunity at goal.
All right, nice little ball up over the top. Mohamed Say, he didn't think it was coming, to be honest. It started to lean, but didn't realize that Nathan Richmond was actually going to be able to pick him out. It's a classy little ball.
Richmond is the son of Richie Richmond, who was part of that '87 national championship team, the second national title team here at Clemson. Richmond himself, coming out of IMG Academy, was the boys player of the year across that whole program. That shows something of the talent level that he has, and that little touch just showed the creativity that he has. Sarver, the goal scorer, into some space. Plays it to Endley. He gets the shot, just deflects wide. Oh, not deflect, says David Erbacher, and it will be a goal kick. Almost something out of nothing there.
Hit it. I mean, come on, son. Ball back across. What more could you ask for here? I mean, you can't be upset at the amount of pace that it comes to. Your first touch is good enough. You just got to be quicker on the draw there. Yeagley coming in, talked about a couple of guys. Sarver, Henderlong, mentioned Mahalik as well, how quick their release was. We haven't seen any of that tonight. That's another one where your touch is good enough. You got to take it and then step immediately right through it. Standing foot was perfect. The continuation just didn't happen.
And Endley's a guy that's usually more of a distributor. 12 assists on his career. Led the team last year with 6, but he has 7 goals, and he scored goals in big games. He's second team All Big Ten twice in his career. He's going to want that opportunity back because they are few and far between right now. Richmond lays it off to Gomez. Montana. Say working on BB, pings it out. Skinner. Gumbale defending. Like he almost gave him a lane back to cut it in. He wanted that end line. Skinner, the transfer from UNC Greensboro. He's all Southern Conference first team last year, 13 in orange there. Had 4 goals and 7 assists from his left back spot. That UNC Greensboro team, those Spartans put up a bunch of goals, just shy of 3 a game. Tops in the nation for majority of the season. Mayer ushers it to the side and clears, but held in by Wolof. Diop didn't leave it short, almost. Skinner got there, couldn't really do anything with it. Erkins dispossessed, Mahalik on it, he's got Endley in the middle. Erkins goes to ground, and that's going to be a pen. It seemed unnecessary, and he will be penalized as crucially as you can be.
There's a problem you're going to run into, Down, is the tackle comes from a restricted position, and it's the angle that the referee sees as well. I don't think he got him. I didn't think he got him in real time either. But the referee viewpoint is only going to see this. It's from the other angle. There's no contact. But what he's going to see is line of sight. He's staring at a player going to ground against an attacker that's in front of him. So many times they're going to see this and they're going to go, how do you call that? That's exactly how. But they're having a discussion as to exactly how this played out and whether it's the right decision.
Alan Tanju is the assistant on the far side, and Urbacher now points back at the spot, it seems like, and says we are sticking here with the penalty. Now, they added another way to review this year in terms of a penalty if the foul is around the box. This was not the case. That is in the box. There is no VAR for that. You cannot go and look at it again. So Ryan Wittenbrink steps up a chance to level this match. Trevor Mannion in goal. Oh, top corner. Nothing you're going to do about that. And another mistake by the Tigers, penalized and punished by the Hoosiers. 2-2 from Clemson.
You can't blame him for going to ground here. It's a good slide over. You have to try, especially with the creativity of Tommy Mahalik. You have to try and make some sort of play. Goal's coming all the way to the byline, but still referee points to the spot 12 yards out. Wittenbrink pretty calm. Upper corner. Thank you very much. One more look at the call. Definitely no contact. Unfortunately, referee gets it wrong. Indiana will take it any way that they can get it, though.
No doubt about that. The redshirt senior Wittenbrink puts his 9th goal of his career in the back of the net. The first of the season, obviously, in their debut of the campaign at a huge time. So now, just like the first half, they put a goal on the board just about the same time. 6 minutes into the half, they put a goal on the board. We are 2-2. Another one of those rule changes, folks, just if you're tuning into college soccer this year, there is no more overtime in the regular season. If it ends at 2-2, that is when we're shutting it down after 90. Book your travel accordingly. Looking for Mahalik over the top. Mannion out to get it. I really did think when Alan Tanju, the far side assistant, came over and talked, I thought they were going to change the call.
Yeah, I was with you on that one.
Because you're right, where Urbacher's standing, it does look like contact, the angle that he has, but it's unfortunate.
We live in the day and age where we try and vilify someone so quickly, right? You have to understand why the decision-making process is made in that manner. It wasn't negligent, it's what he sees.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the same luxury we do.
Yeah, that's for sure. Skinner pegs one defender, couldn't make two, but they maintain possession. Chifamba cycles it over to Gomez. Isaiah Reed's touch very heavy.
Well, let's be very clear here. We don't know what the changes would have been if they would have stayed in a 4, but pretty telling that Todd Yeagley, when he talked about the shape change, moving into a 3-back, he specifically mentioned Ryan Wittenbrink and how much more versatile he was, that he couldn't have put him in this type of position 2 years ago on that cup run to the College Cup when they got the final championship game, because he just wasn't mature enough.
Yeah.
But the steps that he's taken as a player, the ability to just do the easy things and make them look so simple, gives him the versatility within his game. So as they drop into a 3, he can hover on that left-hand side. And since he's on the field, he's able to bury the penalty and get it back to 2-2.
Reed steps on the short pass and out to Montana. He's got options to his left. Doesn't play. Gomez is dying for the ball. Finally gets to Gomez. Now he's marked a little tighter. Alvaro Gomez is saying, do you not want to play me the ball? I don't understand, Enrique. Uh-oh, bad turnover by Diop, but right back to him. Nice flick on from Sarver. Pollock really causing some problems and ridden down. Will that be a professional foul? That is also a point of emphasis this year. If they're in an attacking position and it's a foul to disrupt a promising attack, that should be an automatic yellow, but David Urbacher does not see it as such, or does he? Let's see.
Easy. Let's slow the game down here a little bit. We're being a bit gracious with some of our calls here. That's a good challenge. That's very well done by Joey Skinner. I will say, give a lot of credit to Mihalik on the negative touch. That means the ball back into space in front of the defender. He could have easily continued to run to the inside, but he feels the presence coming over, makes the defender make a decision, forces the referee's hand.
So Wittenbrink stands over the ball now in what could be a dangerous spot. The center backs are forward if he clips it in, or see if he goes for goal. Tough angle if he did that. Looking back, stick, an opportunity. What a save by Mannion! And blocked off the line. It looked like Diop was there in front of it. What an opportunity for the Hoosiers. Mannion, that was a heck of a reaction save by the keeper. Made a mistake in the first half that gave up a goal. He just saved one right there. Looking long, Reed trying to flick it onto Richmond. He does! And Richmond is dragged down. Is he by Mooney? He says get up. Urbacher says get up. No foul called there. Mike Noonan is irate, saying it's the same thing on the other side for Skinner's foul. Only that was really denying of an opportunity to score.
There's a lot more contact in this situation than we just saw on the other side. This ball is out in front. This touch is from behind. What the referee is calling here is Mooney reestablishing, or trying to, his position in front of Nathan Richmond. Again, not agreeing with the call, but it's subjective in nature because the ref is sandwiched on the inside. He sees the white body and jersey for Mooney in front of Richmond.
All right, I'm not going to let you be political and sit on the fence here. Is that a foul or not? Tell me later, because Mom would say he's doing his thing again. What's up?
The other one wasn't, and this one was. They're backwards right now. Absolutely.
I agree.
Just telling you why he got there.
Played into the channel here. Endley's got an option. This game is stretched. Up and down we go. Diop steps, and no call there. Urbacher says get up again. And here we go the other way. Richmond making his presence felt, the freshman. Held up well by Say. Had some outstanding sequences in this match so far. And we'll show you that save by Mannion and a clearance. We haven't got to that one yet because there was a lot of action the other way once we get a dead ball situation here. She fumbled, dispossessed, and trying to catch Mannion off his line. Okay, Tommy Mihalik. Chutzpah.
It's too much FIFA on the bus right down.
Oh, Richmond, nice reverse pass to Reed. He's on it. Reed's touch heavy, looking for Say. Say lets it go across his body. Still Say, leaves it. Shot, blocked. Gomez. Cuts back, still Gomez. Deflected. Poor clearance. Wolof keeps it in. Pressure still mounting. Skinner steps past Kumbale. Good ball played in left for Say. Oh, just wide. And it was touched out for a corner.
So unselfish in nature. You've really got to commend the touchback by Isaiah Reed, because he could have easily tried to play the hero, cut it back across his body, and gone the more difficult route instead. Notices the striker right at the penalty mark. It's a tiny touch. Goalkeeper gets a little one as well. That's beautiful ball movement from Clemson.
And we'll get you caught up on the subs with one notable one. Ben Erkins, the center back, who's had a tough night and got the penalty, subbed out for Titus Sandy Jr. Titus Sandy Jr. has only played 2 games in his career. Big game, big ball played in, out comes Harms. Gets a fist to it. Pop back in, still some orange jerseys there. Cleared well by the Hoosiers. And Sarver will get it out of touch. Or will he? Yes, and a couple subs too. Let's get you caught up from the IU side of things as well. As Nate Ward checks back in the match, he had a good first half. As is Carson Henderlong, the senior transfer from Xavier. He will come back up to help lead the line here. Gomez looking long for Reed. Good touch by Montana to keep possession. Tries the switch, left it way short, but Gumbale misjudged it too. Devin, you were center back. You come in as Titus Sandy Jr., who's played in 2 games and never at the level of playing an Indiana opponent. What's going through your head as you get subbed in the game in this situation?
Well, especially in this type of game, it's just all about the tempo within it and how wide open it is right now. If I'm Indiana, I'm going to run right at him. You also have to recognize the fact that it's not just his change. You're also getting a move by Hamady Diab. Remember, he switched over to the right side. He was on the left side of Oscar Ogren last year. Yep. Tonight, he's been on the right side of this back four, but now he's back to his left, so that's familiar from him. But for Titus Sandy Jr., even though you are a junior coming on with basically no reps to your name, 2 in 2 years, all of a sudden this is your 3rd. As quick as you can, touch it, release it, touch it, release it. So a lot of times players try to overcomplicate things at this level. Don't. Do as little as possible because that makes the biggest impact on the game.
The junior from Charlotte, he had his first touch there to draw that foul. Here's his second. Out to Gomez. Usman Sila back in the game, 10 in orange. Creative midfielder that scored the opener for the Tigers. He's on the ball now. Great job by Say to hold it up and get it to him. Oh, laid to Reed. He's going to have a chance. Oh, what a save by Harms. Reed tried to open his body and put it in the corner, but didn't catch it clean. We cross under 27 minutes and cross to the bottom of the hour here from Clemson, South Carolina, alongside Devin Kerr. I'm Dallin Cuff. 2-2 between 2 of the best programs in men's college soccer, Indiana Hoosiers and the reigning national champs, the Clemson Tigers. It's been a fantastic game, folks. The Hoosiers went up 1-0 through Samuel Sarver. 2 goals by the Tigers in 4 minutes. Usman Sila and Mohamed Say put them up 2-1 at the break, but then a penalty in controversial fashion called on Ben Erkins, and Warren Wittenbrink stepped to the spot, puts him up back into this game 2-2. Usman Sila, the first goal scorer, goes down there, drawing a free kick from Carson Henderlong, and David Erbacher might have a word with Henderlong here. As some more subs are coming in here now. And there's been a lot of chances in this second half and only 1 goal.
Watch the hold-up play once again. Mohamed Say, they're using him a lot more this year compared to last. Previously, ball out in front of him, making him run now. Doing a good job, players dropping up underneath him and then allowing the secondary run to come through. What ends up happening in those situations, Dallin, you've got the big striker that drops in, you step up a little bit, and it doesn't matter if it's Joey Mayer or Daniel Muni, you go. And even if it's a 2 or 3 yard gap, that gives the ability, Usman Sila, Isaiah Reed, for somebody to quickly step in behind. They goat you into that decision.
And Seth Stewart, a freshman, just checked in for Brett Beebe for the Hoosiers. Again, a big moment for some of these young players on both teams. Used to train with the Fire for many years in Chicago, Stewart, and FC United. Could be an opportunity here as Alvaro Gomez and Usman Sila stand over the ball. Clipped in. looking for Titus Sandy, couldn't get his head to it. And another sub now coming in for Clemson. Isaiah Easley, a freshman. Well, that's not Isaiah. Now Easley's checking in. There he is. Checking in for Muhammad Say, the freshman from Hawaii. Getting some burn. And if you're just new to college soccer too, the guys that check out in the second half can re-enter the match. So I don't think we're going to see the last of Muhammad Say. Just a little breather maybe to get him back in the game. The senior from Spain, the second goal scorer.
You think Jamie Clark, the head coach at Washington, is aware that Mike Noonan has infringed upon his recruiting territory?
I think he's highly aware.
It's a conversation for the dinner table at the next College Cup, right?
No doubt. And a 2-2. Just a reminder again, a rule change this year. No overtime in regular season in college soccer. So if we are locked up at 90, we are done. We'll see if the coaches' strategies at all change for that. And we've asked most coaches about it. Mike Noonan was funny. He's like, yeah, I haven't done it yet, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen. So he's not really sure. But at times, as Coach Yeagley alluded to, if you're 2-2 on the road, maybe you play for that draw. We'll see. Henderlong's pass left short when they had an opportunity there. Oh, what a look, but Diop was there. Great attempted through ball there. I'm not saying it's the same level, but Kevin De Bruyne this weekend,
yeah.
that was...
No, that was rude.
That was alien-like. You nutmegged a guy from 10 yards in a pass that nobody on the planet saw. He made it. Nice job by Titus Sandy. Said he's finding his footing. And you got some more subs coming in the match for Indiana. Lawson Redmond, who started the match, now checks in for Samuel Sarver. Junior from Illinois. Attendance record just shy of 6,400 here. Average last year was just over 3,000. A lot of people, standing room only, legitimately, all around the stadium. You got 2-3 deep here to watch the defending national champs take on one of the best programs in men's college soccer, arguably the best program in the history of men's college soccer. Indiana in their 50th season has won 8 titles nationally. Ball goes out. Tell you about college football, and shout out to our promo group. It starts with wow. Next Saturday, the top matchup of the day highlights ABC College Football Week 1 lineup. Number 11 Oregon against number 3 Georgia, the reigning national champs. 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Annual Chick-fil-A game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And at 7:30, 4:30 Pacific, 5th-ranked Notre Dame takes on number 2 Ohio State. The Horseshoe in Columbus in the Saturday night football game presented by Capital One. Both games also available in the ESPN app. I say it sarcastically, but I'm pumped that all versions of football are back. The real one and the American one. Looking for Mooney, back stick, heads it down. Oh, Reed able to flick it on to himself, and he's got an opportunity here. Oh, hits it past Wittenbrink, and Wittenbrink says he didn't touch him. Devin Kerr's waving a finger that he didn't touch him either. But he's going to go into the book.
It was just right in front of us, and again, very smartly done. Oh, he drags his foot.
Yep.
Give it to Wittenbrink. He's just got to get out of the way there. Did everything right outside of that final little move. My biggest takeaway, Dallin, from this Indiana team so far, and I understand that there's 21 and change left. You and I are having the same conversation that we did on that College Cup.
What a pass by Diop to Sela. Oh, Sela maybe too unselfish, but a lot of contact there. And that is going to be a card as well for Joey Mayer. And Diop, the 2 Senegalese studs connecting Montverde Academy products
And we'll go back to that in a second. How many D up? Dear Lord, you just got to stop with this left foot, man. I mean, it's downright brilliant. That little pinch back over, the ball back through. Joey Mayer, I feel for him in this one. New field, it's slick. He's sliding back over. He tries to pull out of it. I'm making the same move if I'm him. I just can't stop my momentum from running into the player even after the ball's released.
Dead center here, about 20 yards off. If you're putting the ball down, is this where you're putting it down to take a free kick? Amine Diop is dangerous. Who takes it, though? It will be Diop. That left foot deflects for the corner. Third corner of the match for Clemson coming up here. And sub coming on for Clemson here. Sean Smart, the freshman, another one of those Montverde products. He's from Apopka, Florida, home of Warren Sapp. Comes in for Enrique Montana. Corner to be taken. In swinging ball. Oh, could be an opportunity to transition the other way. 1 on 4, 5. See what Patrick McDonald does. Yes, he will play it back. Now a long ball opportunity. Can it be brought down? And offside was called against Seth Stewart, the freshman. And again, take a look at the scoring summary. We've gone back and forth a little bit. Samuel Sarver gets it going. Sela, Say, and then Wittenbrink. What's been your takeaway from this match so far?
Well, I was just getting into it before the challenge on the other side. My biggest takeaway for Indiana, and I just said it, is we're having a very similar conversation that we did last year and that we did in their run to the College Cup appearance final in 2020. They're lacking a 9. They don't have an out-and-out striker up top who's really given them that presence like you're seeing out of Mohamed Say. Now, it doesn't have to be Say, who's that prototypical big, tall build in the striker. He can run a little bit as well. It's sort of trial by fire. Let's rotate some guys through the middle. If we get space there, fine. If not, we'll go to the outside. There's no true identity, but that is the greatness about Todd Yeagley, is what you see now, and I mentioned this earlier, for Clemson is going to be very different in 2 games. It's going to be different in 8 games. And, you know, come tournament time, because they will be there with all their talent, it's going to look different then, too. The sample size is much too small to say, well, this is poor and this is bad. Just tonight in this matchup, they haven't had the ability from anybody up top to help stretch this game and provide constant hold-up play like we've seen from Clemson.
A couple subs from Indiana in that last break. Samuel Sarver came in, the goal scorer, the opening account of the game. And Herbert Enderle came back in the game. And now one of the goal scorers for Clemson, Mohamed Say, replaces Isaiah Reed. Say on it, trying to run onto right away. JT Harm's well off his line. Plays out the touch, see if they get a quick throw. Gomez on it. Sela. Chifumba. Say striding by defenders again. Sets up Sela. Oh, great first touch. The shot. Harms is there, though. Smooth.
He thought about hitting this with his right foot. Right there, started to step into it. No, okay. Closes hips off, brings it back across the body. Just, again, I go back to the fact for Ousmane Sela. You want to continue to make the steps and really make your name for yourself at the professional level. You got to find a way to hone your skill set on that left peg.
Charging forward is Gumbale. Tries to play it in, earns a corner. JT Harm's having a good first game. 5 saves in the game for him. Now 5 corners for Indiana earned in this match. Harms again, the transfer from Duke. 2 of his starts in his career. He has 2 shutouts. He's played well when he's had the opportunity, but when you're playing behind Roman Celentano, you don't get many chances. In swinging ball. Dropped by Mannion, but to no harm. Seal up pressure, turns it over. A dummy by, coming together heavy in the middle of the pitch. Endley finds a little bit of space. Cuts it back. Sarver tried to take it first time, couldn't make good contact. Titus Sandy gonna track it down. Easily can't run onto it. Austin Redmond gets it to McDonald. To Stewart.
And the good news about it for Indiana is the fact that they have stayed the course on this and started flat, and with that shape change, they've been a lot more comfortable on the ball. Problem is they've got a separation within the ranks, so as they start to move off the back, you can see right in the middle of the field that Patrick McDonald done a really good job. He pushes himself into a really holding midfielder 6-type spot, but then there's a 10-15 yard gap, and then there's the attacking unit, so it's real easy to just play through the lines if you're the Clemson Tigers. Tanya Eagley down the stretch making a couple of changes again to just try and find a better rhythm to close this game out.
And Brett Beebe checks back into the match, as does Tommy Mahalik, number 10 in white, who's had a solid game so far.
That's your X factor. To change this game for Indiana with 15 minutes to go, he's going to be the guy to do it.
He drew the penalty. He's been a thorn in their side. He's trying to turn on guys right there. For a long throw. Quick sub coming in right now. Dylan Sullivan checking in the match. We'll tell you about him in a second, but let's get you these. There's been a lot of chances. Only one goal from the spot in the second half.
Nobody could finish anything, and this was probably the best one for the Hoosiers. The ball back across, and to leave the opportunity to step through it doesn't. Goalkeeping for both teams has been much better here, even with the mistakes that we saw in the first half. Down the stretch here, the way that the rotation has come, it's been tight-knit. 5, 10, 12 yards out. Very close-knit in terms of the distance in which they've had to make those stops from.
Yeah, I mentioned Dylan Sullivan checking in the match. He's the brother of Tyler Adams, now midfielder for Leeds. As Diop steps forward. Diop trying to ride a challenge. Still Diop, tripping a little bit. And eventually they will pull it back after playing the advantage. Just to go back to Sullivan, on the flight down here, I actually sat next to his parents on the plane. They were sitting across the aisle from me, started chatting. They rack up some frequent flyer miles, man. They were in Leeds last weekend to see Tyler and them have a great win. Early in the season, went to their opening match, which was also a win, as Leeds won 3-0 last weekend. But their other brother plays football, Robert Morris. Younger brother is a sectional champion up in Wappingers Falls in soccer. So they are all over the map watching their kids excel at a very high level. And Dylan carrying a little bit of an injury, getting some minutes here in a huge game. 13 minutes to play against Indiana. Contact. And the foul is called on Endley. And Tyler Adams, if anybody watching here doesn't know, one of the best midfielders in the American setup. And
start paying attention.
Yeah, I don't know what you're watching, but I think he should have the armband for our team for the next 10 years. That's just my 2 cents.
He's that kind of player.
And he's that good of a leader, it seems like. Foul count is evened up a little bit now, 12-10 in favor of Indiana. And Brett Beebe's down. He just came back in the match, so now everybody's going to come to the sidelines and get some water here. Again, it is a warm night. It's now down into the mid-80s. Game kicked off at a feels like of 97. And Beebe's going to be subbed out here in a second. Seth Stewart's going to come right back into the match. And while they work on Beebe, we do want to remind you college football season starts tomorrow. The 17th annual MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff game as Howard squaring off against Alabama State at Center Park Stadium in Atlanta, formerly Turner Field. Our celebration of HBCUs begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN and the app. Week 0 is upon us in college football as Beebe is now up and under his own power walking to the sidelines, but Stewart, the freshman, is going to check back in. Yes, you are on TV, sir. How about that? That guy did a little hang loose sign. Was that a little? Is that guy? Did he watch North Shore recently? Hey, Howley. So I'm showing my age. These kids have any clue what North Shore is? A zero shot. Zippy. Do you know what North Shore is?
Yes.
I mean, come on. Just making sure.
I do, but my wife watches it.
Hey, Howley.
Watched. Yeah.
Watched, yeah.
Past tense.
Turtle. All right, I'll stop now. Back to action. Under 13 to play here at historic Riggs Field alongside Devin Kerr. I'm Dalek Cuff. 2-2 between the #1 team in the nation and number 13 Indiana, the reigning national champs Clemson, against a team that has 8 stars on their crest. That's for 8 national titles the Hoosiers have. Should be a great last 13 minutes. There's a lot of chances in the second half. Only 1 goal from the penalty spot has us knotted up at 2. Well done by Sela. He's running, looking for it again. He's in a foot race, and Mooney's going to win. Well, Harms is going to win. Well read by Sandy. Up to Derek Walloff, the transfer from Brown, all Ivy player last year, a grad transfer. Pops it out wide. There's Sullivan trying to make an impact on the game. Sean Smart squares it up, laid off. Almost an opportunity, easily creative there. Should he have tried to put that on net?
I would have hit it myself.
Yeah. I mean, I never saw a shot I didn't like, so I guess that's your answer there. Sullivan on it. Turned. Kept in by Sandy, and they will call the foul as Sarver just casually stepped underneath him. Say, working hard again with his back to goal. Chifamba. Sela, little pocket of space. That's danger. Sela, goal! That dude's ridiculous! Mayer slipped, and man, did he punish him. Lights out, maybe a bit early, but 3-2, the Tigers are up.
Down, I used the verbiage earlier about the touch into the negative space. Watch what Ousmane Sela does on his first positive touch into the negative space. He brings it back across his body, which is going to affect the shape of the Indiana Hoosiers. You're working from outside in as the ball comes back across the field. Great ball from underneath by Chifamba, but that touch right there, that is everything. The natural momentum here from everybody in Indiana is to continue the fluctuation to the right. You mentioned the slip by Joey Mayer. His body's trying to come to the right as he pivots back left. His force takes over. At that point in time, how great can you be in this moment from that distance? And once again, Ousmane Sela has answered the call.
Mike Noonan says, shakes his head sometimes, says, Sela's special. Well, we saw it today, folks, and I think you're going to see it all year. Back comes Indiana, though. Sarver, scored the opener. Charging at Diop, tries to cut it back. He's going down looking for a call. No call there. Crowded out. By Sullivan, he steps around a challenge.
Good tackle.
Great job by, there was a foul call. I thought Gumbale got it clean. But actually the far side official, Alan Tanju, raised his flag and signaled David Urbacher there should be a foul. Clemson setting them up a number of changes here. And as you mentioned earlier, Mike Noonan said it was at halftime. We made some subs. We went a little bit young. Well, he's about to get old right now. The guy's waiting. The guy's waiting to come back in the game, have some experience, or two of his captains too, to try to kill this game off. And then looking for that big 6'3" frame of Say, finds it, but he can't bring it down.
Really flattened out the midfield, Indiana, with Seth Stewart and Patrick McDonald. And because of it, you're relying on more directivity of play. You're trying to go from the back line up over the top, then hope that the second wave from your guys underneath are going to come and match you. But within that, you got to find a way for Tommy Mahalik to get back into this game. They've pushed the front three up top, and that's great because you put a lot more pressure on the back line of Clemson. The problem is you don't have that change in the playmaker that you had from Mahalik, and we saw at the tail end of the first and the start of the second.
Endley on it, out to Wittenbrink. Brink cuts it back inside. Endley's touch, lays it out. There's Seth Stewart. He'll give it a ride, but high and wide. And this is not what you want to see, as Mohamed Say is down on the far side of the field. And as we mentioned, this young man has dealt with injury issues, sophomore year and junior year in particular, coming off a torn ACL. When he's healthy, he is an absolute beast. And Mike Noonan's also going to walk over there, but Say is getting up, but he's laboring. They were set to make 3 changes, and one of them was going to be Say. As you see, he holds his left hamstring. Not in the business of speculating, but big hug from Tim Strobeck, the sophomore. He's back in the match. Alvaro Gomez comes in for Dylan Sullivan. And I'll take a look at this last action, if you will. Say went up. And after that, he kind of closed down the ball and then went to ground. But he is leaving under his own power. And their next match for Clemson is coming up against USC Upstate here on the 29th, just a couple days. We'll see if he is all right, but he will not be able to rein into the match. He's already used his re-entry in this half. Closed down by the freshman Sean Stewart. Stewart on it again now. Tried to find Reed. .7:30 to play. Wittenbrink gets the flick on, and Mahalik's going to get on it. He has been their danger man. Sarver running into space, but he was off. In real time, I thought he was on, but Reed, opportunity here to get and ushered out nicely by Mooney. That is why he's an all Big Ten player. That is why he is the reigning defensive player of the year in that conference. Nate Ward now checking back in. And Brandon Parrish comes in for Dylan Sullivan. Ward replacing Seth Stewart. So in years past, when you knew there would be How would you approach this game if you're Todd Yeagley? What needs to change to get this level before we get to the end of this thing and get a point out of this match?
He's just done it. And, you know, you hate to put the emphasis on one player, but as well as he's playing and the lack of presence in one area, bringing Nate Ward on right now. That's a guy who can play up top in the 9. He can slide outside a little bit and get down into the channels. But you bring Tommy Mihalik deeper. They have to get him on the ball. And again, I go back to the fact that coming off the back line and moving direct up over the top, the middle segment is not chasing enough. So if the secondary ball that comes through isn't picked up, which it isn't being, Clemson just steps right in and goes the other way, right? You need to put the ball on the deck and start to play. The final 15 minutes of the first half, that's what happened. Now, Mihalik in that situation was in the 10. Now he's going to operate more in the 8. They just need him on the ball so they can start to distribute going forward.
Wittenbrink, good ball, whipped in. Mayer couldn't quite get his body shape right. Get it to Seelan. There could be an opportunity here. Pinged out to Parrish. Can't quite get his legs sorted out. Sarver does track it down. Quickly played by Harms, but right back to Stewart. Smart, excuse me. Sarver, good ball to Endley. He's got options. Plays it wide. But in the end, just going to harmlessly go out. Lucas Hummel couldn't really do much with it. Hummel, the junior from Missouri.
That is what I'm talking about, though. Even though Endley is the one that gets on the ball and plays it through, Mihalik comes, he checks. So you have Alvaro Gomez who steps up a little bit with him. Then Endley comes. So he's the benefactor of the movement within the midfield. That's, you know, that trial by fire up top. 3 different guys trying to find a way to have a presence. You're not getting that. So you have to recreate it in the aggregate. Almost like a Billy Bean type thing for Moneyball style. You don't have an out-and-out 9. Okay, let's go and find it. We don't have an out-and-out 10. That's fine. We can find it in the gray areas and the spaces. They just haven't stepped into it. That's a much better representation of what Indiana is capable of. Those kids here have seen that movie, right?
I don't know about that either.
We'll put it on the poll.
We're old, dude. Wittenbrink running it smart. Wittenbrink, and we're in the corner. Under 3:30 to play. Wittenbrink to take the corner. Low ball, flicked on. Mooney trying to turn on it. Falls to Sarver. Oh, Mannion! And he stopped the rebound. What a save! And to keep it off the foot of the encroaching Indiana player, Mihalik, right in front of him.
We mentioned to you earlier that they brought him in. And the penalties against Marshall. This is about 12 yards out. Nice little step through by Sam Sarver. He's got the bottom corner and glory written all over it. That is some kind of save with moments to go for Trevor Mannion.
Sela out to Parrish. Now, at what point, if you're Clemson and Mike Doonan, do you just try to get some olays going here and try to kill the clock?
Well, you're looking at it and just step on it, especially with the pressure that's come over the last couple of minutes from Indiana Hoosiers. This is the exploration process for Todd Yeagley. Again, it's going to be very different in a couple of games' time. They're just trying to figure out a way to get anything at the tail end of this, but all of the play that you've seen, the changes, is going to affect some of the decision-making going forward, both good and bad. The question is if anything on the tail end of this is meant to be in the form of an equalizer.
It's a crafty move by Isaiah Reed right there.
Remember, he said
25 seconds.
You're a winner no matter what coming in out of this game, right?
He's just thinking that.
Right? I mean, he said, no matter what, we are in a win-win because we're going to find out a lot about ourselves. Of course, I want to go there and win this, but at the same point in time, you can't replicate this environment and this 90 minutes for what we've been doing in preseason over the last 2 weeks.
No shot. And they did it last year. They went on the road to play Notre Dame, and they beat Notre Dame 3-2, end up being the ACC tournament champs. When he first hit it, I was already calling. I thought it was going to go right over his head, but it dipped quick. You got to be kidding me. A half volley from 50.
You're on your own if he hits that thing. I'm dropping the mic and walking out for him. That was...
Holy cow.
It's pretty incredible how in such a small amount of time we've gone from talking about the prowess by Justin Malou at the right back spot, the Columbus Crew draftee for Clemson, to all of a sudden you're dealing with a center back and how many D up and what he's capable of. I told you to watch the distribution coming in, what he can do from set pieces. We've pretty much seen all of that tonight.
A junior from Senegal, second team All ACC. He will be first team, I imagine, this year. There aren't many better center backs in the country. Clemson gets the throw, and they're under a minute. 55 seconds left. And can Stroback play it to Sela? He almost did. It falls to Stroback. Could they add a fourth? Arms is off his line. He tried to square it to Sela. Tracking it down. Bodies are flying. 38 seconds left. Clemson once more. I don't think they're going for the corner flag. Sela on it. He looks to go down, and David Urbacher says, get up. 27 seconds. And Sela's going down trying to stop the clock. That's not going to happen. They're playing on. We're at 20. At some point, Clemson may shut it down. Brandon Parrish take it for a walk. And Sela's just laying on the pitch still. Stroback. He wants more. Well, it was a win-win for Todd Yeagley's crew and a loss he thought. It was a win-win for American soccer right now. That was an outstanding 90 minutes. 5 goals in it. Devin, what are your thoughts when we just saw it?
I didn't see this performance from either team coming 20 minutes into the game. They were rattled. The emotion was high. They were all over the pitch, but instead, Clemson Tigers settled themselves down. There were mistakes made, absolutely. It's the first game of the year. You knew that was going to happen. But from veteran leadership on one side, some of the youngsters showing up on the other, you couldn't really ask for anything much more between these two programs. 11 national titles between them. Number 1 Clemson comes out on top, rightfully so. You don't want to say back to the drawing board for Indiana. Ranked 13th coming in. There are a lot of questions to be asked about them. There's still going to be a lot more. But I tell you, Noonan's got to be pretty happy with the way that his team responded tonight.
Well, let's ask him. Mike Noonan joins us now. Coach, 6,500 about here. We enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.